Hi everyone, in today's video I'm going to show you how to make this little pumpkin. Alright, all you need is some cotton yarn in any two colours you like. So I'm using these two today. A pair of scissors, yarn needle, I'm using a 2.5mm hook and some stuffing. Alright, to start I'm going to show you how to make this little top piece, the little stalk. So take your yarn, make a slip knot. Chain 2, and then go back into the first chain that you made and make 6 single crochets. Okay, pull the tail tight. In the next row we want to increase from 6 to 8. So 1 increase in the first stitch. An increase is just 2 single crochets in the same stitch. Okay, so 1 increase in the first stitch. 1 single crochet in the next stitch. 1 single crochet in the next stitch. And one increase. One single crochet in the next stitch, and 1 single crochet in the last stitch. Okay, so we've added 2 increases. So now you should have gone from 6 single crochets to 8. Right, in the next row we're just going to single crochet 8 around, but we're going to do it in the back loops only. Okay, so you go in the top of the stitch and you pick up the back loop and single crochet. Okay, so here's the stitch, the V. Go in through the center, pick up the back loop and single crochet. Right, so there's no increases in this row. Okay, so that gives you that little edge there. In the next 2 rows we're just going to single crochet around, so just 1 in each stitch. So just go through both loops and single crochet. So now that we've done our 2 rows of single crochet, it should look like this. And the next row, I'm going to make 1 single crochet in the first stitch. Okay, and the next stitch, I'm going to make 1 double crochet, so yarn over, go into the stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Alright, now I'm going to chain 2, and I'm going to go back into that same stitch and make another double crochet. So yarn over, go back into the same stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so that's the pattern all the way around. So it's 1 single crochet in the first stitch, and in the second stitch it's 1 double crochet, chain 2, 1 double crochet in that same stitch. So you just want to repeat that round until you get back to the stitch marker. So 1 single crochet in the first stitch, in the second stitch 1 double crochet, chain 2, 1 double crochet. Okay, and the last one, 1 single crochet in the first stitch, 1 double crochet, chain 2, and 1 double crochet. Right, so once you've done that, slip stitch to the first single crochet you made, and then you just want to cut your yarn long enough to stitch it onto the top. And then pull it through. Okay, and you just want to hide this tail inside and stuff it a little bit. Right, to make the main part of your pumpkin, you want to take your next colour, whichever one you've chosen, leave a little bit of a tail, make your slip knot, and chain 26. Right, once you've got your 26 chains, we're going to skip the first one, or the last one that you did. So that's our turning chain, and we're going to go into the second one and do a half double crochet. So yarn over, okay, go into the second chain, yarn over, pull through, so you have 3 loops, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Alright, so we're going to half double crochet in each chain down. So at the end you should have 25 chains because we skipped the first one. So yarn over, go into the next chain, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Alright. So just 1/2 double crochet in each chain down. Alright, so now that we've finished that row, we're going to chain 1 and turn. Alright, so in the next row we're going to work into the back loops of each of these, and we're going to 1/2 double crochet. So don't go into your chain 1, you want to go into the next one. So go into the top of the stitch, pull up the back loop, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3. Okay, so just going into the top of the stitch, pulling up the back loop, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3. Okay, so you can see all the front loops here from the last row. So at the end of every row, you need to chain 1 and turn. And then just work in those back loops for every row. Alright, so I'm going to stop the video here and I'm going to keep going. So there's 2 rows there, 1, 2. I'm going to go until I have 28 rows. So I'm just going to stop the video and I'll come back and show you how it looks after 28 rows. All right. Okay, so I've almost finished my 28 rows, and I thought I'd come back and show you. Sometimes if you think you're dropping a stitch, so you're coming up with 24 half double crochets instead of 25, there's the very last stitch on each row is on the side. Okay, so that's not the last stitch. There is this V on the side, just there. That's the last stitch of each row. Okay. Alright, so for anyone that can't find that last stitch. Alright, so this is how it looks after I've done my 28 rows. So in each of these panels is 2 rows. So you just count up if you're having trouble knowing exactly how many rows you've done. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is cut your yarn and leave a long enough tail. So we're going to stitch the bottom and the top together. I'll just pull that through. Alright, so I have my starting tail here, and this is where I finish. So I've got one on each corner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it in half, and I'm going to join the top. Okay, so going through that first loop on the other side. Okay. And I'm just threading it through about every second loop. So I'm not going in there, I'm going in this next one. Alright, so now that I've gone and looped it all the way around, I'm just going to pull it tight. And then I'm just going to stitch from one side to the other. Alright, once I know that it's nice and tight and closed up, Just turn it inside out and I'll make a knot. Because I don't want any stuffing coming out. And then you just want to stitch the sides together. So this is the side with the starting chain. So I'm going through this back loop here. Okay, so I'm not going through both stitches, I'm just going through this back one and then through the chain on the other side. Okay, so that's how it looks once you've done the side. The next thing you want to do is start stuffing it. Okay, so I stuffed the pumpkin and I did the same as I did with the bottom. So I just weaved it around the top, pulled it tight, and I've done a knot. I've done a knot just there. Okay, and then I hid that tail. The next thing to do is you can either leave it just like that and then put your stalk on top. But if you want it to look like that, you just push your tail to the bottom. Okay, and then what I've done with this one is I've just put the tail in 4 places. So just like that, pull it tight, and then you go back into the center, back down to the bottom. Okay, then we go across and do the same through the top, back down to the bottom. Alright, so it's like you've cut it in 4 with the yarn, and then you just need to knot it at the bottom so it doesn't come undone. So once you've knotted it at the bottom, this is how it should look. You can have either end, the top or bottom, and then the last thing to do is just to stitch the stalk on. So all I do is place it and go through a loop on the pumpkin, and then I go under the stitch there, and then I go down the next brown stitch, through the pumpkin, up 1 stitch, and then down the next one. Okay, I just do that all the way along, and then I knot it off and hide the tail inside the pumpkin. Alright, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.